My mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2012, I believe. And for us, it meant really just dropping everything and trying to figure out what her needs were to understand what the disease was.
Alzheimer's cases are on the rise. Millions of people are being diagnosed with it. But the thing is, no one thinks about it until it's too late. Hi, I'm Dr. Jordan Austin, and in this video I will share with you 5 things that you can do to slow down and in some cases even reduce the chances of you getting Alzheimer's disease, even if you have already started seeing signs. So let's get right into it. The first person to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's was Auguste Dieter back in Germany in the late 1890s. She had started forgetting recent events, so eventually she was admitted to an institution where she was studied by a doctor, Dr. Alois Alzheimer. Dr. Alois Alzheimer had multiple sessions where he would question her. Questions like, how old are you? Where are you right now? But Auguste Dieter couldn't answer. She got worse as time went on and eventually died. Dr. Alzheimer studied her brain and her medical records, and he noticed that part of her brain had shrunk and there was a large deposit of plaque and tangles. This became the gold standard as to the reason for Alzheimer's. However, recent studies have shown that there is a new theory which I will get into. The main cause of Alzheimer's disease has always been known to be a buildup of protein plaque in the brain called amyloid beta. In low concentrations, it has normal physiological functions, for example, memory enhancement, and it protects against oxidative stress. However, when amyloid beta builds up in the brain, it disrupts normal cell function, which ends up leading to cognitive decline. You see, amyloid can accumulate in the brain because of a wide variety of reasons, like poor sleep, high cholesterol levels, brain injuries, high blood pressure, and diabetes. Also, there are other reasons too, and one of them is the theory about the buildup of something called tangles. This is a situation where there is abnormal accumulation of tau proteins, forming neurofibrillary tangles. So, treatment today is focused on dealing with the plaque buildup and tangles. But guys, there is one thing you don't hear talked about a lot in these explanations. It's research pertaining to lysosomes and the relationship it has with Alzheimer's disease. Because recent study shows that one of the main reasons why amyloid beta builds up in the brain is because of a disorder called lysosomal storage disease. So there are a few things I should explain in simple terms first, so as to not confuse you guys. Lysosomes are pretty much garbage collectors / recyclers for cells, and a genetic mutation can happen which causes them to not function properly. If there isn't anyone to collect and recycle the garbage, then garbage will start to accumulate in the cells and eventually the organs. So now that you have a general understanding of Alzheimer's disease, it's time to now talk about what you can actually do about it. One of the most important things that anyone can do is to get better sleep. Yes, I know some of you think that you can run on 5 hours of sleep, but although you might be okay now, over time you will start seeing signs of mental decline. Aim for 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep. Not 5 hours, not 6 hours, not 6 hours 30 minutes. Aim for a minimum of 7.5 hours to 8 hours of sleep. The second thing you should do is exercise. Exercise with a mixture of some cardio and strength training. You can add some stretching in there too. So about 30 minutes to an hour a day for at least 3 days a week. You don't have to train like you're an Olympic athlete. A 30-minute fast walk is already really good for your cardio. Now this one is a big struggle for many people today because of social media. But the third thing you should do is stay mentally active. If you're a student or your work requires a lot of mental activities like reading, analyzing, and problem solving, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you don't fall into any of these categories mentioned, then you need to take the time to put in the extra work. Start reading more. You can read a chapter a day. You can even consider picking up chess or even learning a new language or an instrument. Even creative hobbies like painting and writing really helps. Now the fourth thing you can do is meditate. I usually use this app called Medito. I'm not being sponsored, but hey guys, if you do want to sponsor me, you can always reach out to me in my emails. You can meditate in the morning for about 10 minutes or at any point in the day actually. You see, meditation is a way to relieve stress and it helps with organizing the mind, especially if you're someone who always has a racing mind. Stress and confusion play a role in Alzheimer's disease. The fifth and final thing you can do is eat the right diet. There is a mind diet which includes things like omega-3, nuts, whole grains, leafy greens, and vegetables. These foods reduce inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain. Also, try to limit the amount of saturated fats you consume. So for example, cakes and pastries. So that's it. Now don't feel worried if you've had a family member who was recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Maybe you were diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease too. Just know that it's not too late. With the right lifestyle, you can make a significant change. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I do have a video talking about how the lack of vitamin D can be the reason for depression. So if you want, you can go and check that out right here. Anyway guys, thanks again for watching. If you found value from this video, please do consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.